All right, and we are live. And just give me a few minutes, folks, because gotta go tweak my stream out. Do that. But today we're back. Gonna be finishing off the diorama today. Hopefully, as you can see, I got a lot of stuff done yesterday. Didn't really stream yesterday. Just wasn't really in the mood for it. Just doing a lot of heavy lifting yesterday, moving some stuff. So decided just to kind of keep it relaxed last night. Just kind of did some little base coats, little shadow work with like some washes and all that. And a little bit of detail work on the mountains. So today we're going to be kind of finishing it off. Like we're going to get the space bridge painted up, and then we'll do the rocky terrain in the front. And that'll kind of be it. Like not a whole lot left for me to do here, honestly. So it was a pretty straightforward sort of diorama to do, because all the like I said before, nature environments usually don't take that long to do because they're usually a lot easier than doing like man-made stuff like buildings and stuff. So, but I will say this one actually kind of killed most of my art supplies right now. So not all of it, but or my painting supplies anyways. So. But where's my channel? There it is. It's so slow. All right. But yeah, and before I get started, if you guys want to buy some stickers, my Dinobot stickers or my posters, they're up in the description in the pinned comment. So my Etsy shop link, anyways. Slow today. Yeah, I've also been kind of like working. I've been all over the place today as well. I had work, and then I had to help move some furniture around again today. So bitches. Constructicon. All right. Oh, someone sent me a link. I'll have to check that out later. All right. Let's get started. I'm all linked up, so I'll just get started. So today we're going to be working on the space bridge, get it all detailed and all that. You'll kind of notice there's like a little bit of these little X's here. This kind of means it's all going to be blacked out, but we'll do the blackout last. I just want to get all these colors kind of situated. We have a bunch of different colors to choose from. We have a bunch of different metallic paints I kind of want to use. This metallic, this berry. We'll kind of just like figure it out, see what colors we kind of like for different areas of the build. In between that, we'll kind of get started on doing some of the rock work in the middle here, and also on the side walls, because not a whole lot more needs to be done on these guys. So, because you won't actually be seeing this sort of pathway bit here once on the sidewall. It's just going to be the rocky terrain on the sidewalls. So it's going to be a very, very simple one to do. All right, that's probably enough. All right, so I'll use this as my main sort of. I like that. Just trying to test out the colors real quick. I don't like that. And it's all dry, so we can go add and figure out where we want to put it. So we'll start. Ooh, yeah. No, I did some actual line work earlier, just kind of keep know where my path is, so to speak. Yeah. I might go over them as we go here today, but it's not a big deal if I do so, because we're here to. So we can do our touch-ups later. So I don't have to worry too much about the lines. Just kind of get a feel for what I want to do here. I don't gotta worry about the line work as much. Yeah, for the Cybertron environments, I always try to go for metallic paint on the structures or whatever, because I think it kind of just adds a bit more of a realistic vibe, and it kind of has a high-tech sort of look almost. So, yeah. That just looks cool. Be too neat. Just needs to get the areas need to be got. Lines over here kind of got sloppy earlier, so I'll kind of try to cover that up as much as possible. Start with this berry, and then we'll kind of we'll try different like purples for the different patches of line work here. You know, spread things around, make it more interesting to look at. You know. Just thin it out this way. Because I don't have to worry about this area too much because it's going to be blacked out anyways. Right. Just going to thin up the paint a bit. There is there. A little thick. And then we'll give it a minute to dry. Oh my God. I had a heart attack there. What the f? There. It's just falling apart for me today. All right. Let's move camera up just a little bit. There we go. Kind of turn it a little more so you can see it better. There we go. There we go. So we're going to kind of move this up to the side for a minute, let it dry for a bit. And we'll kind of work on the rough work over here. So Gonna need a new plate. I'm gonna do kind of a very, very dark brown, sort of black. And we'll get a brown. Use another brown. All right, let's use it. Yeah, it's good enough. It'll be a very, very dark brown. Like almost like a brownish, or very, very dark color here. And then we'll grab my last sponge sticks. One of my big ones, anyways. And we'll kind of go through, and I think we'll start from about here. Get my foam sample about there. So I think we'll do about here, about 2 inches up. Because that way it actually gets seen, because there's going to be a because in the corner of the shelf there's actually the base layers are at like 2-3 inches tall, so I'll make sure that's kind of seen. So it's not really but great. There we go. Jesus guy. All right. Yeah. I'm gonna do a whole lot with these rocks here. It's gonna be very simple, sort of detail work and stuff. We have the end here. It's gonna feel jagged. Not that you'll see this part here because it's gonna be covered up by the shelf or the base layer a bit, but you never know. You never know. So I'll do a little blip there. Yeah, I had to kind of my schedule for tonight kind of got shifted around a bit. I was trying to go for 6 o'clock tonight, but I had to do some other things to put together a bed because my sister's actually moving in with me pretty soon, so it's gonna be quite a experience. I had to take apart her bed and put it back together again back at the house. So it's been an eventful day for me. So just try and enjoy it this evening while I can. Tomorrow's gonna be even more busy because we have a few more trips to do. But yeah, at least today we got the hard stuff done. So. All right. Choice. Combine these two together. I'm going to do the same thing for the left and right, or the middle bit. So. Okay. That should be good. Just need a little nick there. Well, that should be good enough. For the back, I should probably thin that out a bit more. Might come back with a second coat. Nah, I'm gonna worry about it too much. Might have some much little interesting sort of details later on, you know. These kind of unfinished line, so to speak. Now, side. Right. Seems like my metallic is fried up, so sure. I'll grab some purple. What the hell is that? There we go. And just I don't want to divide this up. Or if I want to at all. Maybe I made the entrance a different color. Not sure I like that. I kind of like the just the regular purple or the. I might just stick with this color. Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to go over this a little bit, but yeah. And I like this color a bit more. Just trying to think here. Just trying to experiment a little bit. We can always paint over it and redo it, you know. Kind of like that. Hey, Corey. Good to see you, man. Yeah, we're going late night today because I was trying to go for 6 o'clock earlier, but I had to do some stuff around, or I had to do some stuff. So I had to kind of push it to evening, and thankfully I have tomorrow off, so I can actually kind of yeah, let's try like this. You know what? I think I'm gonna stick with the magenta, like the berry. I think I like that color better. Yeah, stick with that. So I'm gonna kind of let this dry. See how much we can take off actually, and then we'll just kind of thin that out as much as possible. Let it dry for a bit, and then we'll go back over with our magenta or berry, and then we'll stick with that. Yeah, it's not really like these other shades. I think that just the yeah, I think it looks better. Yeah, I'm just doing some testing here, guys. Got all night, anyways, because all I have to do is actually for this diagram, I have to do the space bridge and then some of the rocky terrain in the middle here. That's it. Like we're almost done. We're pretty much done after that, you know, because we got to do more of this stuff here, and then yeah, it was a pretty easy one to kind of do. So did a lot of work last night on this. I was going to stream last night, but I just didn't really have the energy last night. I was just really busy doing stuff. Okay. Well, while that's drying, we can actually kind of get started on the rocky terrain in this area, at least. Yeah. And need like 2 inches here. So about there. Okay. And on the other side. All right. Did a video with Ian. Oh yeah, I saw that actually earlier. I'll take a look at it when I can. Just hold on. Oh, too high. That's okay. Oh. Kind of using a blackish sort of brown mix for the rocks here. Just kind of have a different sort of tone of color. And then we'll kind of go back in and do some texturing. Once I'm satisfied with the space bridge, we'll be pretty much done after that. You know, there's so much else left to do. Yeah, should go back over with some the berry color. So I kind of like that better for that. Do some other little lighting effects. Hopefully, I'll fix things up. In my eyes. Actually, I almost want to bring that plum bit. Just have, I don't know. Let's see. I'll figure it out in just a minute. Shit. Got my brush stuck in the paint. Stick that out there. I like the look of the cliffs so far. Yeah, well, the cliffs are all actually just done now. Uh, not really much else for me to do. I actually did something like little, did a wash, like kind of a black and brown sort of wash along the edges to kind of create this little, very, very subtle sort of a shadow effect here. I thought about adding some black to it, but I think that it's, I kind of like this better. I think it looks good the way it is. Don't want to do too harsh of a blacks here. It's good enough, anyways. Let's do a good lift there. That should be fun. Okay, while that's drying, what I'll do is I'll turn around, go back over this stuff here with the berry purple. Whatchamacallit. I like the metallic purple here. I like this better. I just feel some more like the cartoon sort of colors. I don't know. Something different, you know. Or I guess it was kind of more like this purple though. That's the only thing. Yeah, we'll see. Change it back. Or should I stick with the? I like this purple though. The more I'm thinking about it, it's more indecisive. Should probably get this out earlier, but it is what it is. And we'll see rain and wind cut fall lines help sell that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's not actually rain stuff going on. It's just kind of like it's kind of meant to be sort of a very, very drab sort of sky. Um, you know, it's not really meant to be too. But I have so many shelves that are like bright blue sky with like very clear clouds and stuff. Um, my lines are starting to get lost a little bit. I have to go back over them just a minute. This area's gonna kill me. I think. Indecisiveness here. Settle for a minute while we're waiting. side. We'll do some texturing work on the sidewalls there. Okay, grab my sponges. I gotta be all right. There we go. And view. There we go. Yeah, the sky was kind of meant to be more kind of like a drab sort of a background here almost. Kind of like a mucky sort of day almost. Like, I don't know how to describe it, to be honest. Maybe too bright colors. I need more darker colors here. That's okay. What the hell are you doing? Mm. Do a little bit of work on the base, the main. Not too worried about letting this black color here sort of dry because it's like it's texture work, so that'd be perfect here. Put it off to the side, and we'll pull the espresso. I have enough left. Used a shit ton of it yesterday. So. Oof. Bring back the sidewalls. Some brown. Okay. Do all this texturing, then I'll do some dry brushing and then some line work, and then I think that'll be it for the stuff here. It's okay though. Trying to fill in the black areas, really, for the most part. I think adding all the little extra colors here will kind of make it pop out more once I get my dry brushing in and then do some line work. I think it'll really stand out a bit more. And dry brushing really is kind of like the key to save a diorama, honestly. It really feels like it. It's really easy to make things, mess things up if you're not careful or paying attention to what you're doing. Back side. Nope. Still drying a little bit. That's okay. There we go. It kind of depends. So if I'm doing like a base layer, like for specifically the base layer, if I'm doing like a base coat for it, it usually takes. Well, it depends on how much I put on the foam here. That's where it kind of comes down to is how much paint I actually put on, and how. I'd say like about 10, 15 minutes. If it's a light amount, it's usually like 5-10 minutes maybe. But if I decide to go crazy with it, like I sometimes do, it can usually take a good bit, like 30 minutes sometimes almost. Like that's why sometimes I'll actually take a. That's why sometimes on the streams I actually kind of will just like stop the stream because it's like sometimes I'm just waiting for paint to dry and it's just like there's nothing for me to do, because especially at the point where I'm just like done everything else, or where I think everything else around me is still drying, and so don't really have much to do, so I might as well just go chill for a bit, you know. Do something else. Oh yeah, wait for paint to dry because paint dry is boring. It's just boring to watch it. So, but yeah, I'll just depends on how much you put on, how you know, if you thin it out. If you like if you put on a thin layer of paint, it usually will dry a little bit faster than if you have a thick layer of paint. That's why I try to like thin it out and like kind of you know, fix up the blips and all that. But yeah, it should be good enough. Let that dry for a bit, and then we'll come back with some line work, I think, and that'll be it. And dry brushing. But dry brushing it doesn't take too long. Actually, it's usually pretty quick to dry when you do like a dry brushing, like for rocks or what have you. Yeah, that's way faster than I was thinking. Well, yeah, I don't really time it, to be honest. Like, I don't really know exactly. I think that it just kind of depends on how much paint you put on. You know, so. All right, so I gotta fix up the space bridge. It's not really the color I want. Let's see if I have another shade. Oh, I think I like it. I like it. This is a new one I got too. Make sure I got paint on the bottom. So I could really fuck things up if I did. Right, so I wasn't really. Part of me likes it. Part of me knows it's not really 100% cartoon accurate. It's supposed to be more purple. You know. See if I can still see my lines. Yeah, I can still kind of see my. I can still see my lines from earlier. Kind of add detail. Don't want to lose those. Let's try the wrong paint again. Yeah, I think it's the right choice. Actually, I think having the berry underneath though kind of has a nice vibrance to the purple on top we're using now. It kind of works out. Dig it. Might need to do some shadow work, but I think that we're going to be pretty much done on this almost. We'll fill in a few other extra areas here. There's little sides here that get fully filled in. Careful not to go too far with it. Yeah, this is obviously from my Constructicon shelf. I said kind of before, but I'll kind of reiterate. It's kind of meant to be the canyon area where they had the space bridge set up. And I believe it was, and it was the Constructicons that actually made the space bridge, or at least they were part of the construction of it on the Earth side of things, anyways. So kind of felt like, because it's kind of interesting because it's like on the I actually have the shockwave shelf above it, or two shelves above this one. So it's kind of like you, and with the shockwave shelf, it has the space bridge on it as well, because the way the space bridge worked in the cartoon is that you had like a bridge on Earth, and then you had the receiver on Cybertron, like so you could go from Cybertron to Earth and all that, and vice versa. So it's kind of interesting to have two space bridges, but in different ways, represented in the shelves. So it's kind of cool to me, I guess. But I think that, for me, I was kind of like, the Constructicons had to be in sort of a canyon, sort of a location. It's kind of where they were most like frequently seen in the cartoon. They're usually in like canyon scenes and all that, and it kind of fits their character a bit more, you know. Like most of their stories were told in like canyon, and I don't really have a whole lot of. I mean, I have one that's kind of a canyon, like the Stunticon one, but it was kind of obviously not really fully because it had the stadium in the background, because it was meant to be kind of like a demolition derby sort of or kind of a rundown demolition derby area. It's kind of just like this big old mesh pit of like cars and stuff, with some of the desert elements in the background, but never really did a full on like canyon desert sort of a vibe. So that's what we're doing today. Hey, Natty, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by in. Awesome. Late for me, but I want to say hello. Yeah, it's late for me too. I actually had to go to bed at a reasonable time, so I have to get up early for because we're actually going to be going in to get our vote in for the Canadian elections. So, but I also have to go get up early because I need to help my sister move some stuff, some furniture, because that's what we do here. But yeah, we're getting there. Almost done, actually. We just have to do some little extra details on the rock work in the middle here, and then that'll kind of be it. So we'll let this dry for a bit, and then we'll kind of work on dry brushing here. And brushes. So yeah, there's a big one. We use it for anything else. So oh, it's not dried yet. What the fuck? All right. Yeah, it's not dried yet. Okay, I gotta wait a little bit. All right, I'll wait. I'll be good and wait. Still dry. In the meantime, I can actually pick out some shadow colors for the space bridge. Let's see what's we got here. Metallic paint. Okay. Put some regular purples here. I can make dark, maybe some black. Maybe fuchsia. This will be very swish. Yeah. Yeah, so this is where it kind of gets boring. It's just kind of like the waiting game here, just waiting for paint to dry. So while we're waiting, we can kind of mix some colors, see what we like. See what we don't like, and go from there. All right. A few brushes to kind of do some. How are you going there for? Oh yeah. Nice host. All right. See how much you got left with that. And some shadows. That'll be it. And maybe some highlights actually too with a lighter shade. That last. Sure. Plate doesn't have any water in it or paint underneath it. Okay. This side's pretty much dry. Most at the middle bit here. Kind of a oval shape. We'll kind of tidy this up later on with a pen, but basic sort of colors in first before I do that. Just do a little shadow there, and a shadow on the bottom. Was just a hair dryer, but maybe I would crack the paint. Yeah, yeah. But I don't really have a hair dryer because I usually go for a buzz cut. Buzz cuts. Need one most of the time, so that'd be kind of useful for this kind of stuff, though. So, let's just type this up a bit more. I'll leave it alone. I don't know why I like. I'm not sure if I like these little lines here. Kind of like to keep it clean. Most part. Put back over it again. It's all good though. Gives this part here more time to dry anyway, so just kind of go over this. Don't really like the bottom stuff. Looks fine. So it makes more sense than this stuff because it wouldn't be too much in shadow here anyways. Not a whole lot to kind of bounce the light off of. So I'll just keep it clean over here. Clean lines. That's all we need here. This one. Because Cybertron always had like very, very clean lines, like the technology Transformers had. They always had very, very clean design, details, and all that. You need to sleep, but can't get to sleep. Yeah. 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 Well, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Night I'll have to get up at 5. Yeah. Well, I have weird hours because I'll work like really late shifts and also will work really early shifts. So it just depends on what my bosses want me to do. I don't really control my schedule too much. Yeah, I think that I'm gonna have a light sort of a highlight color coming around here, and then we'll do our touch ups, and then that'll probably be it for the space bridge here. So, yeah, I think that's all we needed. I don't think we need too much for the shadow works there. It's good enough. It's just still fucking drying. Jeez, me too. All right. Lighting game. Actually, I could probably do some dry brushing. Why not? Not gonna be a big deal if it's messy because it's nature. It can be as messy as we need it to be, as we want it to be. All right. Towel. Usually I use at least 2 or 3 for my dry brushing here. And for dry brushing, all you gotta do is take a brush, dab into some paint, whatever color you want to use for dry brushing, and then you just kind of take a whole chunk of it off on a paper towel, and then you're kind of left with just a little bit, and this little bit can do a whole lot. So you can just do like little like texture lines and all this sort of stuff. You just use this technique a lot. I'm not going a little too far here, but. Yeah, just over all this. Not too worried about the brown seeping into it because I kind of want that. A nice, interesting sort of texture here. See if we can actually do a whole lot with a whole lot less, you know. Just some dry brushing, because all it does, it adds a nice sort of a layer of texturing, a nice layer of, yeah. And after this, we'll do some line work. Just kind of a more defined sort of a rock work here, and then we'll kind of call it a wrap on the terrain. Oh my gosh, that's way too much. Way too much. There we go. Let me take it off enough. That's okay. Don't worry about too much. that off to the side. And I'll do the right side wall. This one's pretty much almost dry, actually, so if I do things a bit more successfully here. There you are. And the left side. Yeah, I'm sure like a lot of people in like doing like 40K stuff or doing some sort of miniature painting kind of does this as well. I imagine it's a very, very common sort of technique. Yeah, I learned a lot of this stuff like watching like, a bunch of YouTube videos on like painting dioramas and stuff. Like it's nothing like anything I'm doing right here is something anyone else could do. You know, I don't think it's really anything like that, you know, I was born with or whatever, or some talent. You know, it's just skills, and skills can be learned, you know. Oh, didn't do the sides. Bummer. There we go. Always do the sides because it's going to be going into the shelf from this angle, so you want to make sure, you know, kind of connects, you know, in a nice way. Okay, let's grab some old brushes, actually. Just do some line work here on the rocks here. Doesn't have to be perfect because most of the stuff will not be seen much on the shelf anyways, because, you know, I have big, beefy bots that are going on this shelf, you know, so it doesn't have to be 100% perfect here. Another different shade. Just little details are enough to get by. Don't be afraid to be like kind of like random with your lines here too. It is nature, you know. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to line up with anything. You can just do whatever you want sometimes, within reason. Obviously, you know, don't want to. Well, kind of depends on what you're doing, but the most part, you can do pretty much whatever you want when it comes to nature environments, at least. I find them to kind of be a lot easier, a lot more effective to kind of pull off because it's like, with nature, it's, you're never going to see a perfectly straight like tree the same way you'd see a perfectly straight building. You know what I mean? Like buildings are, you have to be, or doing a city or whatever, like that takes a lot more time, and which is what actually I'll be doing pretty soon, actually, for the Protectobots, pretty soon, actually. But because there's more of an expectation to see a straight line on a building than there is for a tree or a mountain or rocks or what have you in the real world of water. Like there's a lot you can really do with you kind of get away with. It's my really light highlights here. Do a whole lot, just enough. This will be it. For the left side. So I'm doing little details, nothing too fancy. Nothing too crazy. I do kind of find myself enjoying the nature environment, especially when I'm doing the base layer, when I'm actually like, adding like trees or grass elements or bushes or whatever. Like that's usually the most fun part for me personally. It's like detailing up the diorama. Oh, this is the right side. Dummy. Oh well. How much of a difference? All right, I think that'll kind of be it for the sidewalls now. I kind of got what I needed out of them, anyways. We'll see. Anything else I can do with them? I think they're all right. They're all right. I think we're pretty much done with these guys. Not really going to see them much anyways on the shelf. So, yeah, go with those. I'm good with it. Now it's just a matter of getting the back wall done, and just need to do some highlights actually on this, and then we'll do some of the same sort of highlight work we did with the browns here. So I might do that first. Yeah, might as well. I already have all this stuff out here, so. But with this guy, I might as well finish this crap off. Probably calling a wrap pretty soon, actually. It's pretty. So all we have to do is do some highlights here, and then I think off air I'll probably work on the line work and kind of get that fixed up. So I need to be a bit more hands-on with that. Just want to make sure the lines are good and not falling apart on me. So otherwise I'll have to repaint over all of it. Start over. Okay. Let's do that. Here. Oh, I'm painting. There we go. All right. Actually, a wash over this might be really good. Actually, later on, might do that. But off air. Yeah, actually, I think a wash would be really good for the foreground there. But I want to get this all done here first before I do that. And for those who are new here, a wash is basically where you mix paint with water, and you basically take a sponge stick and you kind of spread that across whatever surface you want it on, and it kind of adds a nice sort of a weathered sort of look almost. Like I did that a lot actually. I started actually the first time I did that was actually with the Constructicon shelf. Actually, I did that with the broken toy cars or whatever I used for the platforms there. So what I actually did was I took a big bowl, because I had a bunch of different like little parts I wanted to do. So I was like, oh, let's just get a huge little bowl set up, filled with water, filled with paint, and then I just dropped the little parts I wanted to kind of, because I used like a bunch of like broken ass toys for the platforms for that shelf to kind of make it look like kind of a junkyard vibe, you know. And so I use a lot of like, and so for that one, I just used, kind of like put some water, brown and white, black paint all over it. And it's like it kind of had this really nice sort of it really just sped things along for me, kind of just add this very nice, like weathered, like texture to it, it's seen better days. Yeah, definitely. I'm kind of considering doing a wash over all this once it's all fully dried. Might do that. Yeah, what time is it? 10:13. So, well, shit. I've been moving pretty fast today, but not a whole lot for me to do now. It's kind of just like the final touches on this diorama, to be honest. I can throw it onto the shelf and put my fingers back on. They've been sitting on an opposite shelf for the past couple days now, so they're kind of lonely, missing their fellow Decepticons. They're surrounded by Autobots right now, so up there on that shelf. So But yeah, so after this diorama, actually, we'll be doing another one probably next month, probably the end of next month, because I have a lot of stuff to do in May. Yeah, we'll be doing the Combaticons next, which will be, I think just going to do, I'm not too sure. I think I'm going to do like an island or a beach. Even though we already kind of did one for Bruticus, I just feel like it's probably the best location for him as a team as well. But I'll try to do things a little bit differently for that shelf, just kind of make it different. Like I think there'll be more of a focus on like the forest behind them. Because with the Bruticus shelf, it's kind of it's kind of in a weird angle where it's like you kind of have a little bit of the island showing, but also a big chunk of the ocean and the mountains behind kind of showing in that shelf. So I think so it's kind of like you're going out of like for that shelf, it's kind of like you're coming out of the island and all that. Versus this one's gonna be kind of more like you're going into the island with the Combaticons and all that. That's kind of the idea behind that one. So, and because I have Onslaught now, I just got him in the mail a few weeks ago, or about a week ago, yeah, about a week ago. Yeah, I don't have to worry too much about whether or not he's going to fit. That's why I actually kind of spent these ones so long because I'm still worried about Onslaught not fitting because he has those big cannons on his back. But luckily, he was actually small enough to kind of fit there. Not small enough, but he was short enough to kind of make it work. So, but we will be doing some like light water work there too. Like what we did with the British shelf, like some clay and stuff. So. And after that, we'll be doing the Protectobot shelf, and hopefully we can get a collection tour going at the end of June or July. When I get that shelf done, because I want to do it. I don't want to do it because I want to do the collection tour once I want to do it when I have both Autobot and Decepticon main shelves fully dioramaed up. Before I do a collection stream or video or whatever. Just because it'll be a nice kind of sort of end cap to this little saga, if you will, of my dioramas. Because because the hard part's like done, because I just to buy the figures, because a lot of my shelves are really empty right now, especially my combiner shelves. They're very, very empty right now, but yeah. I think that's done with the brands. So, and it's just a matter of getting the space bridge done now. Let it dry for a bit, and just gonna get the highlights in. I'll see if I can get the fuchsia color going. Maybe this will be a good color to use here. Put it off this corner here. What the hell? Okay, I kind of like that. Let's get a slightly smaller one if we can. If we can. Yes, we can. Yeah, I actually kind of like that. Do a little highlight there. That should be it, I think, for that. Yeah. I don't want to mess with it too much. All right. I might call it a wrap right there, guys. Just gotta wait for this all to dry here, and then I'll finish up the details on this, and then I'll do some washes on that, and then I think that'll be it for this diorama here today. So, yeah, I think we're done. At least the hard part's done, anyways. Let's get a good look at the background here for y'all, so you can see. Let's get a better angle on the camera. Yeah, once I get my new phone, hopefully this next month or so, I should be able to show off the end results. But there's the space bridge, and there's the mountains. So I did a horrible job showing y'all. There's the mountains, little rocky terrain, all that. Very, very simple, very, very basic, but I think it kind of works for the Constructicons. Now, so you got the right. Yeah, that's the right one. Right side and the left side, which are both still drying, so I kind of have to wait a little bit. Yeah, I think that's it for me. I think I did all I need to do today. So, let's move the camera down. But yeah, just can't wait to get this all dried up and go onto a shelf and call it a day. The Constructicons finally have their new home now, so special thanks to Corey and Natty for stopping by. I really appreciate y'all coming by. I know it's kind of a later stream than I normally do, so but to enter my loopy hours, so so better call it quits before I say some stuff I don't mean or don't want to say. So, but on that note, I will see you guys around. If you guys are following me on Twitter and all that, you'll probably see the end results of this diorama. But if not, you'll definitely see it on the channel pretty soon, next couple of months at the very least. I will be doing a diorama, a collection tour soon. In a couple months, once I get these next two dioramas done, we'll be able to do that. Yeah. But yeah. Till then, I'll see you guys around. Cause I got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow, so I'll be really busy. So I probably should get to bed pretty soon. So, sleeping 4 hours, yeah, probably. Honestly, I'll probably stay up late anyway. So yeah, it's only 10 o'clock actually, so I still got a couple hours in me. So, but yeah. On that note, let's see. Should end this off on. I wish I had some Constructicon clips. Oh well. We'll do this one. We'll do a shockwave one. So on that note, I will see you guys around, and yeah, I'll talk to you later.
Decepticons, a toast to the imminent destruction of the accursed Autobots.
Boy, these are good.
This stuff's the greatest. Those were the good old days back on Cybertron. Didn't have to sneak around in these ugly Earth disguises. Good old Cybertron, land of the metal moon.
You will not escape the mighty shockwave!
Hey, mighty shockwave! Take this!
Shit! You bitches! Get back here!
Bye-bye! Loser! You suck!
Those bitches!